So we're back with the Beltway Hat Trick competitive podcast. We're here with Jacob Angelus, former PVI and Hopkins alum. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely. Well, John, let's get right into it. What do you want to hit on today?
I think the first question that I have is, you're a recent graduate of Johns Hopkins. You're a PVI grad. When is your mixtape dropping? Do you have one?
No.
Do you get the aux cord? Do you...
No, not anytime soon.
Not anytime soon. Who
Probably
normally
not.
had the aux cord for you guys? One at PVI and then second at
Yeah,
Hopkins.
I don't really remember too much at PVI, but at Hopkins we had like our locker room usually there was lockers next to the aux cord, so it was basically whoever got placed near the aux cord usually took it for the whole
And then
year.
were you like placed somewhere far away
Yeah,
from
I was never too close to it. I guess game day some guys would just dominate and take it, but
Right.
yeah, it's usually just whoever was.
Is there like a pregame Hopkins song that everybody plays? Like tradition?
Not really. We have a win song that we sing after that only Hopkins lacrosse players know, but
Nice.
not really any pregame. It's more just EDM, rap music, whatever gets the boys going.
I'm just hoping it's not Freebird over and over and over again.
AC/DC as you love it.
No AC/DC.
What about PVI? Does PVI have like a program song that they like to play in pregame or?
I don't know. It's probably changed throughout the years for whatever the boys that are there like. I'm trying to think when I was there. It was just old rap music that no one really listens to anymore. Like, honestly, kind of makes me feel old. But
Did Coach Waters have any go-to songs he
no,
liked to play? In
I
the
don't
mix?
think he liked the rap music when we played it.
I'm not sure that's his cup of tea.
Yeah. So yeah, but bunch of different stuff. I think everyone's into different kind of music. So
Nice.
whatever the boys liked.
So we brought you here today. You know, some of the things we want to talk about is just like development, your experience growing up in the DMV, youth, high school, et cetera. One of my burning questions is just to talk a little bit about box. You were on one of the very first NCBS teams. Talk a little bit about that first summer playing with your buddies, traveling to California, kind of what that experience was like for you.
Yeah, it was an awesome experience. I think, coming off a college season where, I didn't find success too much with my team, like going into the tournament or anything. Wanting to play more, wanting to get better at lacrosse, getting to play with some guys I grew up with, like Dalton Young, Jack Posey, a bunch of guys. So getting that experience was awesome. It's a totally different game, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
I think it took me and Dalton a lot getting used to it. I don't think we were great at it at first, but as the summer went on, it was fun. And, just finding those small windows, those different kind of opportunities, like having to have such a sharp stick. You got to be very precise in the box game. So it's definitely a great experience. I think just playing like different kind of box teams around the country, like, there's so many different styles to the game, especially in America right now.
Talk a little bit about so like you, Jack, Dalton, B-Dog, you all kind of took different paths to college, right? But being able to, over the summer, kind of play with your buddies, like, was that special? What was that like to be like, woulda, coulda, shoulda, right? Like, we all go our separate ways in college, but to be able to play on a team for 4 weeks and kind of get that, it's kind of a throwback to youth, right? Like those
For sure.
the kids that, those core memories of lacrosse, you got to kind of like fantasy lacrosse. Like, what would it have been like if we'd all gotten to play in college together? How cool was that?
It was so cool. I mean, for me too, like I didn't really get to play with them much in high school either, going to PVI and them going to public school. So getting that time with them, like it's honestly like you never really thought it would have happened, but it was just awesome. Just like
Special, right? Like,
yeah, just growing up with them, like you come back and play together, and you still have that chemistry that you had when you're 8, 9 years old. So it's pretty cool.
I think that was one of the cool things when we got to California in the tournament. That chemistry kind of came through, right? You scored some critical goals as you started to progress box-wise. Like, you got really good. Your outside shot was unbelievable. You can hit small targets. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was great. And it's funny you say that because I'm not much of a outside shooter in the outdoor game. So, finding the way to do that in box was definitely very different and cool. And I think it helped in my outdoor game.
So I was going to say, as you went back to Hopkins and you had a really strong junior and senior year, did box help you? Like, did you find that, like, I know that Hopkins has a lot of guys that are Canadian, that hybrid influence is strong there with Coach. What was that like coming back after playing American box?
For sure. I think especially like now with the field game, like the shot clock just makes the game so different now that, you know, you kind of have to push more and find those smaller windows, especially late in the clock. So I think it helped me a ton in like just passing. And as you said, like I play with a ton of Canadian guys that are very good at box. So they kind of know how to move off ball and move in the two-man game and all that kind of stuff. So it really helped like just playing in those two-man games, finding those small windows where I can feed guys who have great sticks and who can do stuff with the ball, whether it's on the crease, outside, you know, finding skip lanes, stuff like that. So I think it helped my feeding game a lot. And like you said, my outside shot, like, you know, you got to put it in small areas, and the outdoor goal is much bigger than a box goal. So
absolutely,
it was definitely very beneficial in that way.
Did you play any box growing up, or was it just like, hey, you want to go to California? Let's play some box.
Yeah, no, I didn't really. We played a little bit at Hopkins with like small nets, but nothing like we did in that summer. It was more like we had those few games earlier in the summer. We
traveled up to Philly. We played in a tournament up there. I think we split with the Philly guys. Came back down. We played in that concrete barn. So we played in Columbia at the rink. And then we were kind of like off to California. It was kind of an adventure, honestly. Like we had, you know, some box coaches that were helping us, but kind of the way that the summer program works, right? Guys are working, guys are at camp, they're with their travel teams. So like, you know, we would have a handful of guys at every game, practice, et cetera. And then once we beat Philadelphia in Philly for the final, and then we took that group to California. That was cool.
Yeah, it was such a great time, especially with all those guys. And, you know, playing that Philly team, like, you kind of develop, not a hatred, but just it gets chippy.
You can say you don't like Philly.
It was a good rivalry.
Yeah,
though.
it was a good little rivalry, us two playing each other a bunch. And that final series, we were able to get the better of them. So that was a lot of fun.
It was like 1,000 degrees, but
oh yeah,
uphill both ways.
Yeah, it was like the hottest day in Philadelphia. We were playing in an outdoor barn. We had to play. We played. Connecticut came down to scrimmage, so we ended up playing 3 games in like I think one day, and it was just the boys played amazing, but it was a brutal day. And those box goalies were wearing full pads. You know, guys were getting out the blowers trying to get them some air. It was pretty tough that day.
Do you wish you had played like box before then? Would you? How about this? Let's rewind. You played box super late in your college career. Would you change that? Would you have wished to play local box growing up because those windows now are so much shorter or smaller? How would you go about your development, knowing kind of what you saw later on? How would you change your development?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. If I could have played box earlier, I definitely would have. I just don't know how available it was back when I was younger that it is now. Like, you know, I see so many box leagues and teams around here now, and it's great for young players. Like, just be able to get that like different kind of stick work, a different kind of shooting and windows. Like we said, it's such a different game, and also the physicality part to it. Like I really didn't know how physical it was till I went to that first practice, and I was like, holy cow, like this is definitely a lot more physical.
Did you have enough pads? Did you like?
No,
I
didn't.
can't believe I got checked here.
Yeah, I wore.
I feel like you thrived in it though. Like I think a lot of people don't understand like how muscular you are, how big you are, how well you use your body.
You got to be smart for sure.
You're a tough guy. Like you were bouncing off some of those cross checks. Like I was very impressed that first season with the physicality you brought to the game. I think like, you know, you and Dalton in that 2-man. Dalton's just an absolute bowling ball.
Yeah.
He'd come clear guys out. And then that allowed you to get to the middle. That was an exciting partnership for sure.
For sure. And like you said, like the off-ball physicality, I think it was most shocking for me. Like with the ball, like I kind of thought of it like I'm basically dodging a short stick. Like it's what I would do in field across. Like that's what I want to do. So I kind of love that aspect of it. But yeah, like I don't think I wore enough pads that first time we played, and I was like,
we had to buy a whole lot of extra rib pads
yeah.
for the boys.
We didn't wear rib pads.
Nobody had the real arm guards, and nobody had real ribs. So like
no bicep pads.
There was a Hodge donation box for the guys that showed up without. So
you get that one check that one time, you're like, I'm never gonna get checked there again.
Exactly. You have your head on a swivel for sure. But it was great, and for the young players that want to play box, I would just say do it like as early as you can. Like it's such a great experience. It's so fun. It's such a different game, and it just gives you an appreciation for like how like I guess impressive like the professionals are. Like it's crazy, and yeah, it was awesome.
Looking to take your game to the next level? Step into the box. The Mid-Atlantic College Box Lacrosse League, the MAC-BLL, is where serious players train harder, compete faster, and sharpen their edge. Played in a true box setting with full boards, full gear, and real reps. This is high-speed, high-IQ lacrosse at its best. Visit BeltwayLacrosse.com to lock in your spot today. Tryouts start June 3rd, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. at Lake Fairfax Inline Rink. The Mac Bill, built for the best. Hat Trick is brought to you by Freedom Brew. Raise your glass to great beer and a greater mission. Visit freedombrew.com to learn more. Available at Giant Foods, Total Wine stores in the DMV. Freedom Brew. Every beer gives back.
That's cool. So if you were to redo it, if you were to go over again, or if you're coaching now, how would you supplement field lacrosse with box lacrosse? What's your like 50-50, 40-60? How would you build a better Jacob moving forward?
Yeah. I mean, I would say like we did that summer, like I would love to just play your spring season and just play box in the summer. Like it doesn't have to be an everyday thing. And I know even my friends that live up in Canada and play up there, like they're just playing games like 2 to 3 times a week. And it's not much practice because you're just kind of going out there and it's really unscripted. And I think that's the cool part about it. So I would say just like, you know, if you're not playing too much summer ball, especially in college, and I know high school is different now where there's a ton of club teams going to tournaments and stuff like that. But, you know, find those times during the week where you can go out and play a box game a week. Like, go do that. Like, there's leagues around here now. There's teams. You guys have done a great job building it, and I think it's so beneficial, especially to young, like middle school and high school players, to just get that experience.
So, like, coming out of that season, your sophomore year, you're a little bit banged up, right? Like, you go through the grind. Was it too much to, like, jump right back into box? Did you get enough vacation time, see your girlfriend, work a job,
Where did you go on vacation?
Internship?
Where do you vacation?
I usually go to the beach, like Bethany.
Okay.
Bethany guy, all right.
Go down to the Outer Banks. I haven't gone down there too much lately. My family has been going to, we go to South Carolina, like Charleston area now.
Oh, nice.
Every summer, yeah, with my extended family too. So, you know, just get down to the beach.
What's your go-to spot in Bethany?
Restaurants?
Yeah.
Boathouse.
Boathouse, good one. Good one. Good crushes there. Nice orange crush.
Oh, yeah.
Place.
And then we'll go up to Dewey at night, go out to some of the bars there.
Nice.
Definitely a great time.
What's your spot in Dewey?
Well, I mean, you can't go wrong with Bottle and Cork or Starboard.
Live music, yeah. Starboard's always a good time.
All those spots, great beach bars.
Nice.
So much fun.
What do you got, John?
I was going to say, we touched on it a little bit earlier about your aux cord and PVI. How did PVI, you had a lot of awesome coaches at PVI. You had Bob, you had Steven. Like, do you want to talk about kind of how you started your lacrosse career with the coaches that you had, and maybe how that shaped you today?
Yeah, I mean, Coach Brooks was definitely just huge in my lacrosse career, especially like growing up at PVI, like as a lacrosse player. I mean, I remember I kind of got thrown into the fire my freshman year, just starting an attack right away against all
on
these...
JV. You were on JV.
Yeah, I wish. Playing against some big boys, and I was probably 5'7", maybe 140 pounds.
The true freshman starting in the WCAC.
True freshman, yeah, playing WCAC, a couple MIAA teams, some IAC teams, like stuff like that. And I just remember my first ever game was against Georgetown Prep, and you know, I didn't play terrible, but I definitely didn't play great, and I kind of kind of was a little scared and frightened out there, just like
the big eyes.
Just huge eyes.
Turtle up moment for sure.
And I don't think I had a single point. And I remember like I was kind of down about it, just like I'm letting everyone down. Like it's my first game, and looking back on it, like it's crazy to say now, but I remember Coach Brooks like that next week. We had a big game coming up. Our next game against Stab, which is one of our state rivals. They had all those great players down there, like Schellenberger, Joe Robertson, the other Robertson brother. Like they're great. And at practice, I'm still like kind of trying to figure it out. And I remember like Brooks just pulled me to the side, just like looks at me, he's like, what's the matter? And I'm like, I don't know. Like I'm just trying to figure it out. And he just like taught me this one thing that, I don't know if he wants me putting this out there, but it's called ITFM, and that stands for I'm the effing man. And it's just like
you
every time.
Podcast. Can we curse?
Yeah, we're allowed.
I'm the fucking man. So like every time, he's like, every time I would step on a field, every time you should step on a field, just remember you are the fucking man. Like you are here for a reason. You're starting as a freshman for a reason. Like there's nothing to be scared of. You should have the confidence. And I ended up having one of the best games of my career as a freshman that next game. I think I had like 3 or 4 goals. We had a huge comeback. We were down 10-1 at halftime, came back, tied it, 10-10, won in overtime. And I remember I was like, holy cow, like this is why
now, dog.
Maybe that works.
This is why I'm playing. Like, and I remember he like gave me a huge hug after the game, and I kind of think the rest is history with that mental side of it in high school at least. So I owe a lot to Brooks. I love that guy. He's done so much for me, and even just like developing me as a player, like not just the mental side of it. Like, he'll get into me when I needed it, and he'll let me hear the positive when I'm doing well. So he was great, and Bob too. Bob definitely
less potty language or more potty language?
Definitely less.
Yeah,
Coach Waters.
Yeah, I mean Bob was huge in my career. He's done so much for me, and I owe a lot to him too. Just putting me in that situation. There's times definitely in my freshman year where he could have been like, it's not play him anymore. Like he's not ready for it. But he kept me in there and trusted me, and throughout my whole high school career, kind of gave me the keys to that offense and to that program. And I'm definitely so grateful for him for trusting me in that regard, and just giving me the opportunity to have that success with the team. And he was awesome.
I think the cool thing that I saw is that, that 1% more, that 1 degree more.
Yeah.
Like, how do you go from good to great? And it seems like Bob and Steven really knocked that down. Like, what makes you a good player versus what makes you a great player? What do you think that is, minus the 1 degree?
Yeah, I think just through high school, like the great teams we had were the teams that, we're not only just like close off the field and on the field, but we're just the teams that like went to every practice, went to every game or ever, and brought like the same exact energy every single game. And that wasn't just like on game day or at practice. That was like off the field when we'd go work out together. Like I still remember like the year before we had like one of our, I think the best team at PVI. The off season, we'd go to the field like as a whole team, like 2 days a week without the coaches even there. And we would just play like 6-on-6 the entire time. And it was competitive. Guys were fighting, guys were chirping. Like, that's just what I think that 1 degree extra meant. And, people joke about it all the time because it's like he just says it the whole time, like 212. But, it really did, like, impact us, I think, off the field, and especially in the off season when we were just going out on our own, just competing against each other. And, yeah.
Then going to Freddy's.
Yeah.
You guys used to do like a big offsite before the school year, right? You guys would go, was it Kent Island or where was it?
So it was his shore house. I think it was in Easton. So my class didn't end up going because he sold that house. We went to Deep Creek Lake.
Okay.
So he would take the rising seniors every year.
Oh, just the seniors. Okay.
Yeah,
and it was like team building and leadership.
Yeah, just kind of like what we expect for the season, what we want to do, like what we need from each other, like stuff like that. And then you kind of bring that back to the whole team and talk about it. So
what are some of like the key memories like from those events, like food, games, like anything special that you guys would do?
Who sucks at Jenga?
I mean, we went whitewater rafting. I remember it was when Bob and Mabes came with us, and like the rafts would just like flip over, like, and you would just get like piled on each other. They like hurt. That was definitely one team bonding experience we had there. And yeah, it was just a lot of fun time.
Going to private school allows you to do some different things, right? That's definitely one that
I had an inconvenient whitewater rafting trip in my senior year.
I had an injury. I had an injury on a rafting trip. Probably won't go down.
Yeah, it was a great time. We're all very grateful and lucky to have Bob, who was able to put those things together for us. And
I always love the creativity that Coach put into that, and you know, it was more than lacrosse, right? Like it was about bonding and leadership and learning. And just really cool that you guys could experience and do that, right? Like he put a lot of effort into that. I think those are really special things that he created for the program. So glad that always continued, and that was fun to, like, as an outsider, just kind of watch. So
does Johnny Hopkins do that too? Do you guys go on like a trip? Like what's the camaraderie, or how do you build that off the field at the next level? High school, you guys are, private school's a little bit different, but like, you're all living next to each other. Around each other all the time, but college is a little bit different. You might be in different dorms, you might be different places. How did you get that camaraderie at Hopkins versus?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely very different. You're with each other pretty much every hour, every day.
And Hopkins is a different school, right? It's an elite academic institution. The student body, I wouldn't say is a lot of doctors, right? Like that's not a
mixtapes.
Your average, you know, social school, right? Like, what was that like as an athlete?
Yeah, I mean, like you guys said, like your best friends are like the lacrosse team. Like that's pretty much who you hang out with outside of, like, you know, going out on the weekends with other athletic teams. So like during the week, you know, even most weekends, you're just hanging out with your teammates the entire time. And so I think like building that like chemistry and connections a lot easier in that regard, just because like you're going to each other's houses every day, you're playing Xbox, you're outside throwing the football, doing whatever, and then you go to practice every day and you're just grinding with each other. So it's like it's way easier, more organic, I guess, in that sense, where it's like it's just gonna come no matter what, whether you like it or not.
But any cool trips? Do you guys go whitewater rafting?
No,
laser tag?
I'm trying to think.
There's some pretty cool traditions, right, for Hopkins.
There are. So
pregame meals in different spots there in Baltimore that are like real traditions. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so before every game, the Friday before every home game or game that we're driving to, whether it's like going to Maryland or Hoyle or Towson or something like that, we go eat at Sammy's, which is an Italian restaurant in downtown Baltimore.
What's your go-to entree there?
So it's like family style. So they just bring out platters. So they bring out plates of like chicken parm, pasta, sausage, salad, like so much.
What's the first plate that goes on the table?
So right when you get there, the bread and oil's out, and everyone's just digging it because everyone's so hungry. Like we go through loaves and loaves of bread, and then it's usually salad will come out. Everyone's just mucking on that, and then it's some sort of pasta. And then when the chicken parm's out, that's the best part, because
they try to fill you up on bread and salad before the chicken parm comes.
Yeah, and then these chicken parms are massive. Like, you know, we used to have like competitions where we'd see like, you know, the guys that eat a lot who could eat the most chicken parms, and I think the most was probably like 6 or 7 by one of like the face-off guys that could just house food.
Logos.
So
built different.
So that's definitely a tradition that I think will be in Hopkins forever. It's so great. We have this whole basement to ourselves that they set up for us.
That's special. You guys got to do that with the staff and players, and just those human moments, right? Like you're going to have that for the rest of your life. That's cool.
And so another thing Coach Milliman brought from his coaching career is we do like a senior speech before every game. So whether it's at Sammy's or we're on the road, a senior will basically get up and you have a whole speech written down, and it's probably like 5 to 10 minute speech of just like his time at Hopkins, like stuff like that, like whatever you want to talk about.
Is it like an exercise in gratitude, or it's just like what it means to be here?
It's literally whatever you want to talk about, like what it means to be here. If you want to tell like how you got here, or what this team means to you, like stuff like that. So that's something that was very cool that he brought.
What was the favorite one that you ever like heard?
Ooh.
Anybody like killer speaker that just got up there and crushed
it? This one kid last year, transfer actually from Princeton. He was a defenseman, Jacob Angelus. He came up and basically said, "I love this guy because blank," and it's like kind of like an inside joke or just a core memory with that individual person. He did that about every single kid on the team.
That's awesome.
That was his whole speech, just like, I love Hopkins and I love Jacob because I don't remember what he said about me, but just something like me and him had together. So that
connection,
that was just very cool. Just like, it got you fired up, and it was just like, wow, like this kid, like he's a transfer, but he's still like has made a connection with every single kid on this team up to now, and that was pretty cool.
That's cool. Nice. What was yours?
So I didn't get to do one my fifth year because we had so many seniors and fifth years. So I did one my senior year.
It's kind of weird. Did you do your speech the year before and then go back?
So my
COVID, gotta love it.
My one roommate, Garrett Dagnon, he had 3 senior speeches because he did 6 years of college. He did one
monster. It was a midi, right? Monster shot from the outside.
He played attack with me. So he had 3. We always joked about it. He had 3 senior days, 3 senior speeches, which is pretty funny. I'm trying to remember I think I just kind of talked about my time at Hopkins and what everyone meant to me.
I've wanted to be here since 8th grade.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
Literally. So it was a wild ride.
This summer, give your player the ultimate lacrosse experience at Beltway Summer Camp. Session 1 happening June 23rd to 27th at Lake Fairfax. It's a full week of fast-paced lacrosse, skill building, and summer fun. Boys and girls ages 5 to 14 will train with top coaches, compete daily, even hit the Watermine Park. Pizza Friday will be our finale. We are now offering before and after care for working families. Click the QR in the image for more information. Registration will sell out. Don't wait. See registration now at beltwaylacrosse.com. Beltway Summer Camp, where DMV players level up and make memories.
This Hat Trick episode brought to you by GlueUp, the all-in-one association management software platform designed to grow and engage your community. Whether you're running events, managing memberships, or streamlining communication, GlueUp makes it simple. A powerful CRM, seamless event tools, real results. Check them out at glueup.com and take your organization to the next level. GlueUp, where communities thrive. I want to kind of unpack your experience at Hopkins, like one of the most storied programs in all of college lacrosse. DMV kids, as they've gone D1 at some of these programs, haven't necessarily succeeded. For all the reasons that we know. Talk a little bit about, going from the WCAC at a pretty competitive program to kind of just diving into the deep end at Hopkins and what that looked like, what that experience was like. Obviously, it was probably very hard. Everybody there is like a who's who of all Americans and accomplishments. As a DMV guy there, kind of like fighting that like shtick. What was that like for you? Like, I'm sure it was hard, but like share with the kids listening, like kind of like what the expectation was and like kind of how you responded. Cause you had a phenomenal career there. And I think we're all super proud of all that you accomplished, but it was not easy. Like, what are the things that you had to do as Jacob Angelus to thrive there?
Yeah. Like you said, like you get there and, you think you accomplish a lot in high school, and then you get there and you realize every single person there has accomplished pretty much the same thing that you have. So whatever you did in high school before in your lacrosse career goes out the window, really, and it's a matter of what you're going to do going forward. And I think that was something for me. Like, I thought I was, the best player I could have been at that time, especially as a freshman. And I realized, like, wow, like I do not even work that hard. Like, I see these guys like going shooting and hitting the wall every single day, like for hours, and I'm like, holy cow, like I had no idea like it could even get to this level. So that was something like going in, like my work ethic, I just realized had to just go up like 10 notches. Like I just had no idea it could even get to that level. And like you said, it wasn't easy. I definitely didn't thrive like I'd had like my freshman year. Like that fall, I remember just like there were bad days or good days, but like I was like, I don't even know like how I'm ever gonna play here, like if it's even gonna work out. And I do credit a lot to Coach Benson, who was my offensive coordinator my freshman year. He really helped like change my game, like change my shooting techniques, change like how I see the field, like stuff like that. And I kind of really had to like work to change my game. As crazy as that sounds, like you have so much success in high school and then you get to college and you have to change like your entire game.
What are the things you kind of had to fix or enhance, level up?
Yeah, I mean, I think I had to really hone in on my left hand. That was huge. And my shooting, like, you know, I was so used to just being able to get away with shooting like sidearm underhand just at the goal, because that could go in high school sometimes. And then you get to college and you do that, and it's like, it's a cupcake shot the other way. Like you're
transition goal the other way. Yeah.
You're never gonna play. So I really worked on just like getting more power on my shot, shooting overhand, getting more accurate overhand. You know, picking and choosing when I'm gonna shoot. Like, because I'm not obviously the biggest guy. I don't shoot the hardest. So you know, you kind of have to pick and choose your opportunities, especially as like a midfielder.
You went in as an attackman, right?
Yeah, I was an attackman, and then I came through the box. And you know, as a midfielder, you only have so many opportunities, so you can't just piss away your opportunities by going and shooting a bad shot. So it's kind of just like picking and choosing, like when to attack, when to you know, force a feed, take a shot, or stuff like that. Like learning the rules of like the shot clock, because you know it's so like precise in college lacrosse where you're like deep in a shot clock. You need to take a chance here, or you know, you have
roll
a good
the ball
chance
into the corner and get subs on and off.
Yeah, exactly. You have a good chance early on, but is it good enough? Like stuff like that. So just kind of learning the game from the midfield perspective. Like I said, like it was kind of a different position for me, where I was kind of a guy setting picks for attackman now rather than carrying the ball. So it's just a bunch of different stuff like that. And I think as I progressed as a midfielder, I was able to really find success in different areas, dodging short sticks, beating short sticks, stuff like that, and picking and choosing when to get to the goal. And then, like, essentially, like I started drawing the LSM probably by end of my sophomore year and all of my junior year. So that's a whole different ball game, because you're not really forced to dodge as much, right? And it's like, you don't want to dodge the LSM because he's usually
you're not bringing him to the party.
He's usually
probably
really
the best athlete on the field, right?
Yeah, and then there's times where you can dodge him, and people are coming to set picks to you, and you're just trying to figure out that whole scenario. And then so halfway through my junior year, our team wasn't finding a lot of success offensively, and I get moved to attack, so I'm back at X Attack, where I played in high school. And you know, I was very excited for that opportunity, and it was definitely like I was like, holy cow, like I'm actually playing attack at Johns Hopkins now.
I think one of the things about your game in college, the evolution, like your vision and the way that you see the field from X, did playing midfield the first couple of years help you to understand like where defensive players were going to be, where middies were going to be cutting to? Like did that help you? Like, because when I watched you junior, senior year, your ability to feed and find space and create opportunities for the guys around you, I thought that was probably one of the most special things about your game, was that you created for others, and like your ability to like spot feed or, you know, get to a place and really create offense. I thought was really unique.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I said, like knowing my role as a player, like I'm not the guy that's usually going to be taking the outside shot. And so when I got moved to X, like I know my teammates' tendencies. I know what they like. I know where they're going to be in the offense. So one thing I would do, especially when I started playing X Attack, going into like my senior year, and when Coach Crawley came to Hopkins, we kind of ran more of that motion offense where I'm moving all over and finding guys open and finding short stick matchups, stuff like that. But one thing I would do is like I would watch my film, and every time I like got the ball, I'll like pause it and like see who's open, who's cutting, like stuff like that, like right when I catch the ball. Because there's so many like opportunities in an offense to find open guys, find different ways to score. So I think that was one thing that like I would just like pause the film when I get the ball, like who's where, what is everyone doing, can I dodge this guy right now, like stuff like that. And that really allowed me just to like there's so many assists I've had where I've literally just caught it and passed it right away, not even cradled, where guys are just open.
Because you kind of knew where those guys were going to be coming out of their breaks, et cetera. Like that's you kids listening at home, like that's really special, right? Like knowing the offense, knowing the progression of movements, and then hitting the pause button to look at over and over again where those guys were going to be. Like that's next level, really. Like, nice.
That was just one thing. Like I grew just watching film. Like I didn't watch as much film like growing up, especially in high school and even my younger years at college. But once I got older, I was like, it just allows you to see the field so much more. And I was able to just like, really hone in on like open guys and where I need to pass the ball to guys. Like if this guy's open, but he's kind of covered, like, guys have different tendencies. Like some guys can catch like tight inside passes, like the Canadian box guys. And then some guys are more like outside shooters who need like more space to catch the ball. So yeah, it was definitely, that's definitely something that really helped my game.
Did you have any like highlights that were like, I did not mean to do that? Like, oh, I can't believe I made it on ESPN, or like, here's my YouTube highlight.
Well,
there's
so
no way that was on purpose.
I did hit a hidden ball trick my 5th year. And I honestly did not think it was going to work. I got the ball. They already had their 6 guys on defense, and we were still subbing in. I was just doing it just to do it. Like we like
all the cool kids do it.
We mess around and do it in practice. Never works, obviously. And I did it, and I remember like I heard like commotion behiin me, like because I didn't think it worked, and I was just kind of like cradling, like I had it, but I didn't have it. And the guy that came across it, Jonathan Peshko, he did a great job of selling it. He was just cradling, like he was running the X with the ball. And I just hear like a bunch of commotion, like all the defenders yelling like, oh, who has it? Like this guy's. And I'm like, did this actually work? And I turn, and the goalie is just looking at Peshko the entire time. Like he has no clue. And I'm like looking like, oh my God, it worked. And I just pull it from like 30 yards and it goes in. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like I did not think that was going to work. So that was one of the core moments.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It was one of the core moments in my career. And I think when you look back on it, we actually sold it very well. It was just kind of shocking that they had 6 guys on the field and allowed us to do it from that close into the box. So that was the one shocking part. But yeah, that was one of the core, like, I don't know if I actually meant to like that for that to work, but
it sounds like you meant to do it.
Just tell everyone you meant it.
Yeah, I mean, I meant to do it, but I didn't think it was going to work.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. And so every day after practice, you guys are now practicing the hidden ball trick.
Yeah, exactly. So we actually we tried
you guys
it.
Stop doing that, please.
We tried it. We tried it the next game against Michigan, and I remember we did it, and I obviously kept it again, and their whole team was just freaking out. Like their whole side, I was like, 23 has it, 23 has it. So like obviously people knew.
Somebody at Michigan watched film.
Yeah. So I was like, yeah, this probably won't work again, but that was pretty cool.
That's cool.
What do you got, John? Where are we going with this combo next?
I was going to open up my beverage.
Nice. I'll beat you there.
Yeah.
I'll open this one.
You think we're ready for the Junction Barbecue sponsored question of the day?
Absolutely. Let's get into it.
Junction Barbecue sponsored question.
Oh my goodness.
Here's some banana pudding.
Oh, great.
That's fresh banana pudding.
Fresh banana pudding.
That John brought you.
What is your last meal? What would you eat? I think Dalton called
Dalton
it
had muck. He had a mukbang. What would your mukbang be?
Is it like appetizer, entree?
Anything you want.
The world's your oyster. The Junction Barbecue sponsored question.
So I would do my appetizer. I would do probably cheese fries with bacon on them, and then I would for my
crunchy bacon, crispy bacon, chewy.
Where are you getting the fries from? This is critical.
You help yourself to the banana pudding. If you
want. Save it for later. It might come off a little weird on camera.
God, there's so many different places. I'll probably do Glory Days. Glory Days cheese fries with bacon on them.
Okay,
good spot.
Get some ranch, dip that in there. And then for my entree, I would have to go like a ribeye, cooked medium with a loaded baked potato with like sour cream, bacon, cheese.
Where's your go-to spot for a steak?
Capitol Grill, probably.
Capitol Grill, good spot.
They got
classy
the best
joint.
steaks,
Classy joint.
Not my go-to, but that's probably the best one.
That's your last meal.
Yeah, exactly. I got
from wherever you want. Yeah.
Loaded baked potato. I'd probably do some sweet potato fries too. I love those now.
Okay.
And then I would do me and my friends love this. We do a chocolate lava cake from Glory Days as well.
There you go.
Big Americana. That's good.
Yep. So that's what
Dalton had some weird fusion that John was not approving of. It was too much.
You can't mix American and continental.
Really just
so he ended up eating. Oh, okay.
Kind of freaked John out
I
a
bet
bit.
he did.
What about dessert? Just the lava cake? No ice cream?
I'd put some ice cream on it.
Vanilla.
It's like a warm lava cake and some cold ice cream on it.
Okay.
To even it out a little bit.
Dunks or no dunks?
Not in that meal, no.
Angel's a legendary dunks guy. What's your go-to order at Dunkin'?
So I'm just a black cold brew guy. Right. Nothing crazy. I drink all my
oat milk.
Nope. I drink all my coffee black.
Just the facts, man.
Yep.
Just like you like your men. It's good.
Nice, John.
That's an airplane. Read a book.
Yeah. He's a little young for airplane.
Awesome. So the next question I think I have is the Beltway. Let's go this one.
Ooh, Dewey Beach. Did I put this on?
Yeah.
That's where hats go.
It's our shtick. That's the Beltway Hat Trick.
Beltway Hat Trick. What's your favorite kind of hat?
Favorite kind of hat? I just like a normal baseball hat, like not like a flat brim like this, more like...
You do the dad curve or no dad curve?
What's the dad curve like?
So, you bend the middle.
No.
Put in a little pint glass
not the flat brim.
No, not too crazy. Just kind of like the mesh back like that, and just a normal like
little
curve.
trucker.
Yep, normal curve like that.
What does it say on it?
Ooh, I've been rocking this Billabong hat for a while now. It's like tan and black, a black mesh on the back. So I kind of like that one. I don't really know what it is.
Okay.
Are
you a hat guy?
I am.
Okay.
I do wear hats. It's kind of whatever I have at the moment. So one thing actually cool, my dad, every time I would have a hat trick in college, he'd buy me a new hat.
Oh, that's killer.
That's awesome.
So I would like pick out a hat and send it to him.
Sweet.
So that was something cool he would do for me.
So he'd ship it to you. That's really cool.
Yeah.
The sombreros.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
How many times did you get to pull that one on dad?
I think I had probably 6 or 7 hat tricks.
Nice.
That's a big hat budget.
So
That's like a sweet trophy, like between you and your dad.
Yeah.
To keep like you'll always have those hats. You know, like dad bought me that one for that game. That
Exactly.
game. That's pretty cool.
exactly.
This is my hidden ball trick game. That's the Billabong.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, that was one thing cool. Yeah, I don't really have a preference. Just kind of like that hat. Just
I mean, we can trade hats if you want.
baseball hat. Oh, I kind of like this hat too, though. We'll Dewey Beach
That
hat.
one is for sale right now in Dewey Beach at the Dewey Beach Surf Shop. So I anticipate that one's going to be real popular with the scrambled eggs on top. So
Love that.
what else you got? That's the only hat trick you got for him right now?
I have one more hat trick question. Sweet.
Oh, this is my favorite gag. You have to take the hat you're wearing off, put the new one on.
Or you can put both of them on the same time.
Put both of them on. I guess we forgot the sombrero this time.
We forgot the sombrero. This is also a bottle of unmarked Black Label Junction barbecue sauce. It's a combination.
Oh, great.
Beltway hat and Junction barbecue. That's blueberry boxcar.
Awesome.
What do you put barbecue on? What's your favorite kind of barbecue? And why wasn't barbecue part of your last meal?
That's a good question. I love pulled pork, so I'll put it on that. I'm not a big barbecue on wings guy.
Okay.
I'm more of
Dry
like
wing?
No, I'm more of like a mild, like a milder sauce, like a
Buffalo or not buffalo?
buffalo, yeah,
But mild.
but mild.
Some people might judge you right now. But I'm not going to say.
I'm not too much of a hot and spicy sauce guy
Okay.
on my wings. So I won't say barbecue on my wings. Not really much else. I'm not a huge barbecue guy. I'll put it on pulled pork. I'll I'll do whatever. But yeah, not too big.
Not a big barbecue guy.
Not a
Okay.
huge
We'll
barbecue
talk about
guy.
that.
I do like it though. I don't hate it.
This Beltway Hat Trick podcast also brought to you by Junction Barbecue. Please go to http://www.junctionbarbecue.com. Available for all of your online memes and barbecue needs.
Nice. All right, so let's change gears a little bit here. I want to kind of get into sixes. One of the things Beltway we're trying to accomplish is develop more U6s for the DMV. You had an exciting opportunity after college to go and try out with Team USA. Talk a little bit about what that experience was like, and then now as you're moving into a coaching role in your professional life, Talk about like why that stuff is good for young players, why sixes, could be a way for these young kids to level up. But talk about your experience at Team USA and like what that was like coming out of college.
Yeah, it was great. I was very grateful to have the opportunity to put USA across my chest and go to actually the first training camp for the Olympic roster. So that was a lot of fun. There's so many great players there. It was mostly like offensive guys. So, we all had to play defense.
Not a lot of D play.
Yeah, so you had to go up and back and play defense, and then you'd get off. But it was great. I mean, the ball moved at hyper speed. You only have, 30 seconds to shoot.
Did playing box in the NCBS, did that help you a little bit in camp,
sure.
like with the up and down?
So it's kind of a mixture, I think, of box and field, where it's like you can't be as physical off ball in sixes because it's more of the field aspect. But you can also, find those small windows to score, and you got to press late in a shot clock. You're not, I guess there's no really bad shot late in the shot clock unless, you just put it right in the goalie stick and you're not getting off. But, yeah, definitely the box helps you find, just those off-ball games, those two-man games, stuff like that, and, getting back.
And like sixes was fun. Like you just like love the creative part of it.
It's a blast. I mean, it's so different, and there's so many different ways to coach it, I think now. Like, there's just, there's so many good dodgers, so you can kind of, if you want to play one-on-one, you can kind of pull everyone to the side, have your best dodger play one-on-one against a short stick, stuff like that. So there's just so many different ways to score in it. I think coaches even are still trying to figure out how to coach it, which is kind of the cool part about it, I think, right now.
I think that's actually kind of like why I like it so much.
Yeah.
It's unscripted,
yeah.
right? It's kind of creative free play, right? Like we don't get to do that a lot in lacrosse. Like when we play 10-on-10 field, very structured, depending on the coach, like I guess
you're waiting for your subs to go on.
Yeah, like Final Fours, right? That's probably the first time, the Princeton-Syracuse game we've seen like free-flowing lacrosse in years, right? Like we've seen a lot of the take the air out of the ball, settle 6-on-6, right? Sixes is a lot of just like creative free play, right? Like you kind of know the gist of what you want to do, but it's kind of like freestyle.
Yeah, I mean it's up and down. You got to get shots off, like you said, and if you think about it, like once you clear the ball, it takes about 5 to 10 seconds to clear and get your guys on. So you really have like 20 seconds to create offense. So
it's a short clock, right?
It's not a lot of time, and the defensive side of it's fun too because you're just trying to hold these guys off for 20 seconds, and then you can go play.
Do they allow you to cross check, or is it more? Okay,
yeah,
so
I think it's more lenient.
Equal pressure.
Yeah,
right?
it's more lenient in that regard.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a ton of fun. I mean, I would suggest every kid to go play. It's definitely gets you in shape running up and down the field.
Do you have any like key memories from that camp with Team USA? Like, what was your favorite experience at that visit?
Yeah, I mean, just playing with all those great players, like guys like CJ Kirsch was there, like a bunch of great goalies were there too, like Colin Kirsch was there, Schellenberger was there, Xander Dixon, like all those guys, just such great players. Just being able to move the ball with those kind of guys.
Anybody that you pass to could basically score at will, right? Like
that's
gotta be unbelievable.
So it's kind of, you can get a shot whenever you want. It's a matter of just getting the best shot. So that was the cool part about it.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
Nice. So talk a little bit about your evolution as player to coach. It's my understanding you're one of the bright young coaches at PBI right now. Talk a little bit about kind of like hanging up the helmet and putting on the coach's hat, and like what this spring's been like to be like a coach working with these young guys. Like what's that been like this year?
It was great. I just finished my first season at PBI, working with those kids. So it was an awesome time. I mean, I love the game of lacrosse. I love like teaching it. I love helping players like get better at it. So, just being able to work with those guys was awesome. There's a lot of great talent there, and, giving back to the high school I went to, it's definitely a lot of fun. I just think like playing for 5 years at Hopkins, I was really able by the end of it to like kind of like know how to not only help my teammates now or help them back then, but, help the younger generation just develop as players. Cause, there's so much social media and guys trying to get like clips of themselves doing sick stuff out there now. and it kind of takes away from actually getting better at lacrosse, I think, sometimes. So kind of teaching just the fundamental aspect of it and bringing back just, how to play the game the right way and,
We'll throw back to the 1 degree, right? Like
exactly.
starting to kind of think, more about the game as a whole rather than like the individual moments.
Exactly. So it was great. We had a great season. I don't think we started off great, and we kind of worked with them a lot, just developing sort of a team offense aspect. And by the end of the season, it was so fun to watch and like rewarding to see them like play as a team and get so much better throughout the whole entire year. So it was great. I definitely learned a lot as a coach, I think.
Was there a lesson that you learned as a coach this spring that kind of like stuck with you, that you walked away from a practice or game and you were like, man, this is why I want to be a coach. Like, I love this one thing. It's kind of unlocked this, I want to go help kids. I want to coach. I want to develop players. Like, was there one thing that kind of happened this season that like unlocked that for you?
Yeah, I think there were days, especially early in the season, where we were kind of extremely hard on them because we weren't playing well and they weren't really doing what we wanted to. And I kind of like sat back and I was like, if I was a player, like, how would I want to be treated right now? Like, it's a shitty day. Like, we're not playing.
Stephen Brooks to curse it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's not
36 degrees outside. It's really windy. There's like some moisture coming down. I am so thrilled to be here.
Exactly. And so when you're not playing well, I've had days in college like that where it's just not a good day for you. It's like you're not going to play well every single day, especially when you're playing as much lacrosse as these kids are. And, you kind of like sit back and you're like, what would I want a coach to say? What would I want to hear as a player right now? And, like, do I want to just go and completely just shit on these kids right now? Or do I want to like take a step back and just kind of tell them what they need to hear, more of a positive aspect? So I think that was something I learned as a coach throughout the whole year is don't just like immediately be negative and immediately tell them what they're doing wrong. It's more just like think about what you would want to hear as a player and the positive parts of it. And just like I think that really helped me develop throughout the year as a coach and kind of how
evolving your style and like who you are as a coach.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Even how I train kids outside of coaching, like at PVI.
So you're training, you're doing private training for kids. Oh, that's awesome. Is there like a website or anything where people can go to?
No, I do not have a website.
JunctionBarbecue.com.
How do they reach you? Email, cell?
I can give you my email or number.
Okay. Well, if anybody out there wants to get with Angel for some training, just hit us up on the Instagram and we'll help connect you guys.
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely free a lot this summer to do that.
So for the future, right? Like, you think one day you want to be a head coach?
I'm not too sure yet. I like what I'm doing now at PVI. I'd love to just keep coaching offense. I love doing that. Maybe one day as a head coach, but I haven't thought too much about that in the future.
Just loving life right now.
Just loving it right now. Awesome. Yeah, I love training kids. I love working with the offense. Yeah.
Nice. So yesterday we were kind of pre-gaming the call, and we were talking a little bit about your experience at Hopkins. You went there for Coach Petro, and then there was a change there at Hopkins. One of the cool things that you were kind of sharing was like for young people was that like, you were kind of saying like you might not have the whole staff there when you get there. And I thought that was really cool for young kids to hear like about expectation and attitude and like in life, in work, like things are always going to change. Like you're never going to get the exact scenario play out that you thought you were going to get. Talk a little bit about, that, and why that's, you had a very interesting like path to college, right? When you like committed to Hopkins, you were in 8th grade. We no longer do that anymore, but that was kind of a thing back then. And then you get to Hopkins, there's a little bit of shift in terms of the staff. I think Coach Benson had gotten a head coaching job as well, right? Yeah. Like, just talk a little bit about that and kind of like what you would want young players to know, as they're making these decisions about academics, college, playing sport, playing lacrosse in college, like, just share a little insight into that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, what we talked about last night, like guys getting recruited, more often than not, you're going to like every coach you talk to. They're all going to be nice to you. They're all going to, tell you what you want to hear. So like liking the coach, I don't think should be at the top of your list as, you're getting recruited, because I think you're going to like most coaches that you talk to, and most schools that you go to are going to look cool.
It's their job to be nice
exactly.
and blow sunshine, right?
Once you get there, it's a different story. But yeah, I mean, I think, you know, when you're getting recruited, like, focus on what you would want from, and not what you want from, I guess, a coaching aspect, right? Like, are you going to enjoy the school if you're hurt? Like, if you're not playing lacrosse, are you going to enjoy it there?
Get a diploma there,
exactly.
Go to classes there.
Are you going to study what you want to study? Are there topics of that interest you, right? How are the guys on the team when you visit? Like, are those the kind of guys you want to hang around? Because, you know, those are the kind of guys they're recruiting.
The culture of the team.
Exactly,
you know.
the culture. You know, is it close to home? Like, stuff like that. And yeah, like we talked about, like, you know, as sad as it is, like, the staff that recruits you, most likely that whole staff probably won't be there your whole 4 years while you're at that school. Like, you know, I had 3 offensive coordinators in 5 years at Hopkins. You know, it's
that was a good experience, right? You got to learn from 3 different men about life and lacrosse, and they all brought unique perspectives, right? So there's kind of a cool side to that, right? And those guys were probably getting promoted to other jobs elsewhere to be head coaches or take a more dominant role in a program. So you know, most of that was good, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was great to learn from so many different voices and so many different experiences. So yeah, that's my advice. Just, like, you know, do it for yourself, not for what you want other people to kind of, like, say and think of you. And yeah,
That's awesome.
Nice. John, you got anything else? You got any other wacky, wild questions you want to ask?
That is all the wacky Carrot Top items that I have. But yeah, it's awesome to see just kind of your success going back. The amount of pressure that you would get as a kid that got recruited as an 8th grader. It's such like a strange thought for me to go through. I have a young one now that's like, what happens if we're going to go back to that era? So right now what I want to do is go back to, how are you developing? How are you building? How are you building a better machine that we can get kids going to play at the next level if they want to? So I guess thanks for chiming in on that. Is there anything else that you would add to kind of your development as a kid? Is it good to go play other sports? Is it good to go have summers off and not drive to Delaware 5 times a summer? Like,
yeah, I mean, I would definitely say, like, play other sports, right? Like, especially when you're in middle school and your early years of high school. Like, I played football and basketball in middle school, and I ended up quitting football after my freshman year of high school just because
WCA football
PBI wasn't the best.
That was the meat grinder of a football conference for sure. Like, playing Gonzaga, Good Counsel, and St. John's, where the guys were like probably 3-4 times your size.
They're going to Alabama.
They're all D1 guys going to Alabama.
Exactly. All those schools. But yeah, I mean, I'd say, like, basketball is definitely a huge sport now that just translates so much to lacrosse. Offense and defense. So just, you know, playing other sports, enjoying your time off. Like, don't just be fully addicted to the game where you're getting tired of it and burnt out. You know, there's a lot of lacrosse ahead especially for young kids wanting to go to college. So, you know, enjoy other sports, enjoy, you know, doing that kind of stuff, but, you know, hone in on what you need to in lacrosse when you need to.
I've got one last hat trick question. If you can get him a hat, I'll serve up the question. Dealer's choice there, John.
I really don't want you playing for the Finns. That's the problem. We're going to put you on the Here for Beer.
Here for Beer. It's one of our teams in the league.
There we go.
John did not want to give you the Dolphins hat that Jackson provided, as he's been trying to recruit you to come back and play.
Looking forward to you being on the Hoppy Monk team.
We'll see.
So my last question, what was I going to ask? I totally forgot it. Why did I do that? Oh, yeah. So teammate with the worst hairstyle over the last, say, 24 months. Can be any college, any pro experience, but, like,
worst
guy
hairstyle.
with the absolute worst hairstyle. You can call him out by name and team.
Dalton called somebody out about hitting the snooze. We need you to put bodies.
What'd he do? He said Nolan?
Like and subscribe.
Yeah, you got to like and subscribe.
Ooh, I mean, Hopkins, you see some crazy hair.
A lot of mullets.
Got to be one terrible haircut.
A lot of this one kid, Ryan Evans, he's a ginger, he had red hair, but he would grow his hair out to this mullet that would, like, hit the back of his back, and it was just like, I remember our coaches would just be like, you need to cut your hair. Like, you look insane. And,
where was he from?
Baltimore, of course.
The Baltimore guy. Okay. So
all the Baltimore guys have
the
those mullets. Yeah. So
the Balti mullet.
he was one of those just long, just crazy mullets.
Rough.
That, you know.
What was his name again?
Ryan Evans.
Ryan Evans. We're calling you out, bud. Hopefully
I hate calling him out like
trim that bad boy out.
But yeah, that was one of those. I don't know if I don't think he has it anymore. I think he's more of a.
Has he graduated?
Yeah, he's
Real job
done now, so I think he has more of a professional haircut.
I got to do it right.
He's got one of those.
You can't mullet in the pros.
Yeah, the pros, but like, you know, if you're on Wall Street or Hopkins
they
kid, I'm sure he went somewhere cool, right?
So
they all
tough.
got good jobs. You know, they're probably not allowed to have any hair touching their ears. So. All right, well, I think that's it for us from Hat Trick. Jacob, thank you so much for joining us. This was awesome. Hopefully we can do this again. Maybe some point we can put like you, Jack, and Dalton all on the set, and you guys can do your own version of Hat Trick. So.
For sure. I'd love to do that. Thank you guys for having me.